City. Lovely weekend, as always, when you're spending with the queen. Hey, man, I just want to address something. My homie sent me a clipping, American Cholo, last little upcome, whatever it was. Let me address something to you and keep it $1 with you. And understand this and truly believe this. When it came to that LA County, Crips and Bloods, let me really assure you that Bloods walked around that county jail. They just didn't let us know they was Bloods in the 80s. But you had some that was well-known Bloods that couldn't hide. Bloods never PC'd up in the county. American Cholo said something that was true, but what you need to understand is Crips or Bloods never robbed Hispanics in the county. White boys was always the weakest link. So that's who we targeted. We targeted robbing white boys in the county. Hispanics used to get mad that we robbed the white boys because the white boys didn't defend themselves. But whites and blacks, white and Mexicans, Crips and Mexicans never got into it. Crips never robbed them. But understand this. The reason they was organized is because one simple factor. They fell up under the Emmett structure. The Emmett law, when you go to jail and you're a Sereno, the Emmett law is the protocol. You're going to follow their law or you're going to get dealt with. All right, what made Bloods, Crips and Hispanics get into it? Watch this. Did nobody start tripping on Crips in the county jail until they created 4800. Now the Crips ain't deep on the main line. A lot of us didn't want to go to 4800 because we didn't want to get labeled with that being a gang member. Tell me, man. A lot of Crips and Bloods was something else. Bloods wasn't hiding in the county. Just if you knew a Blood, we was gang banging. You went at that, right? Like, let me show you what I'm saying. UBN started in the county. Peabody created that in 22, 24. 21, 23, I was across the hall, right? But Peabody created UBN in the county, right? That's where a lot of Bloods was going to. They wasn't hiding in the county. Crips wasn't pressuring everybody that went in the county. Yes, we went at dot moves. We was gang banging, right? American Cholo say this, Crips was this and Crips was that. Listen to me. He spoke facts on certain shit. But what I'm telling you was, once they created 4800, when they first created the Crip module in the LA County, Crips was wearing gray. So they made us targets. Because now you know who we are. So 9 out of 10, we was going around, we be cuffed up. So people gonna rush us. Watch this. Then they created 4700. The small Crip sets went in there. They was on 2 rows. The other side was Hispanics, Mexicans, Chicanos, whatever you want to say, right? 4300 was created for the dot moves. When American Cholo sit up and say 50-year-old Crips bring prison politics to the street, that's bullshit. I'm here to tell you. When Crips and dot moves get released from prison, they bring prison politics to the streets, they only take it to their own neighborhood because they trying to get their neighborhoods right. They try to create a structure, a better structure than what it was. And they really pressing on the dudes with a sack. They trying to implement prison politics, a prison structure, not prison politics. Let me correct myself. They trying to create a prison structure for people with a sack and start contributing. Because most dudes, Crips and Bloods, that get a big sack and get to winning, they wasn't the active gang members in your neighborhood like Turtle was. D-Dog. You feel me? They wasn't active members. You understand what I'm saying? So you get these dudes that didn't claim your neighborhood but grew up in your neighborhood and they put in the sack in your neighborhood. They claim your neighborhood to put the protection on them. Or I'm from front hood, but really ain't from front hood. Just hopefully they thinking that might keep the jackets from them. But now watch this. Once a certain particular set post that came up on a gang of drugs, That's when the race shit came to the streets. So don't blame it on the Crips. The Crips saying we was weak, or Bloods is weak, that y'all was organized. A certain individual's collective was selling drugs, and that drugs had the Emmy on it. You feel me? So they had to get them drugs back. Prison politics did not create a race war in the streets of Los Angeles when it came to gang violence. The motherfucker got that sack. That's what created it. And you know you could, watch this. If Front Hood started beefing, this is just an example. If Front Hood started beefing with CV3 or Largo or the Flats or 155, listen to me. We already know 9 out of 10, we're gonna have to be with every Hispanic gang in Compton. That's just like once the Bloods, when CC Rider started, no matter who you was, if you beef with one particular set in Compton, you become beefing with everybody in Compton Crip, because we all fell up under the same guideline, CC Rider. Y'all need to start understanding. Now, don't get me wrong, American Buster said some correct shit, but he always throwing lugs and daggers to try to make it look, we ain't never been weak. And we always been organized. See, the difference between us and the Serenos was, Crips that wasn't CCO and Blue Note didn't fall up on our guidelines. So they was buck wild out here. They could do what they wanted to. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of Crips and Bloods turned UBN, BL, CCO, and Blue Note because they might have felt they was out of pocket in that county jail. So now they want to get in line and follow positive structure. I believe every structure is positive till jealousy came involved in the picture. Envy, jealousy, backbiting. This is the things we got to start looking at. This is what I don't understand. If you really wasn't a gang member in the 80s in the county jail, why is you speaking on what really happened if you didn't know what happened? See, that's the problem. Then when you want to speak on it, keep it 100. Don't speak bullshit, speak real shit. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all get up in here, man. It's been 7 minutes, ain't nobody but one person up here. Get up in here, man, because I'm going to do an interview. Melly Mel is going to interview me Tuesday, and we're going to address this topic. You understand what I'm saying? I'm here to tell you that Crips and Mexicans wasn't beefing in the county jail in the 80s. That came because the police played a role in it, and Hispanics played a role because a certain particular Crip set post that came up on something, and they took it out on all Crips. And we stood together in harmony. We never, as a non-active Crip member, only people we ever pressed on in the LA County in the 80s was white boys. So I've been going through the county jail system, man, since you can get a wet 15. White boys was getting jacked in there. Hispanics used to get mad that we was robbing the white boys because they didn't defend themselves. But Crips wasn't the only ones doing that in the county. Y'all listen to what I'm telling you. Crips wasn't the only ones doing that in the county. Crips wasn't the only ones doing that. Non-affiliated blacks was doing that. Hispanics was robbing certain white boys in the county. Let's keep it 100. Crips wasn't the only predators in there. You understand what I'm saying? When we went to the county jail, what was gang banging? Yes, we was. It wasn't no blacks and Hispanics wasn't beefing at the time, so you didn't have to worry about that. Blacks and Hispanics started beefing because of something on the streets, not prison politics. Let me share this with you. I was in the pen from 79 all the way to 86. I come down to the county jail in 82. It was race riots in the level force. Quentin and Soledad, means San Quentin and Folsom, not Soledad, in 82. When I came down to the county, that was nowhere around in the county. I stayed down there for about 9 months. We were still gambling with the Hispanics. So I don't know where American Cholo get that information from. Yeah, they well organized, and Crips and Bloods are too. Because you've seen us going at each other. Don't mean we lacked wasn't organized, because we was. Stop throwing them lugs because it ain't cool. Don't stop blaming something, saying a 50-year-old Crip shouldn't have an opinion when you got an opinion. Everybody's entitled to opinions. Opinions like assholes. We all got them. So people's entitled to have them. Y'all tap up in here, man. I'm keeping it 100. Understand and truly believe that once they started 4,800, that's when they started doing that real shit up in there, rushing blacks. Because when they didn't put the Crips in the module or the Bloods in the module, a lot of shit wouldn't have been transpiring in their county because they knew we was gonna be the vanguards of it. We was gonna be the freedom fighters to stand down and represent our people. Because prison, politics is in prison. You understand what I'm saying? People try to justify shit by using prison politics as the cause and the reason, but it's not. Stop blaming shit on prison politics when it happened on the streets, not in prison. Because if we was dealing with prison politics, it'd be more bloodbaths in that motherfucker, and than anything. Let's keep it 100, y'all. Now, I ain't trying to discredit the man, but I'm keeping it 100. There's certain things he's not accurate about. And he always get dudes on his show that don't know what the fuck they talking about. American Cholo only speak 10% of the truth, 90% is bullshit. I'm gonna keep it 100. But tune in. The mail Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Tap in, man. It's the best 11 minutes I can give y'all. Tap in. I'm finna go eat this soul food dinner. Tap in. I got to get back on the highway and go home. Love, peace, and happiness, y'all. Love you.